Hey everyone, it's Brad here. Before we get into this episode discussing the MCU Phase 3, the last half of it, I just wanted to let everyone know this episode has been available to our Patreon members now for many, many months. And if you wanted to have access to this, as well as all of our other bonus content, our episodes way in advance, episodes of Elton Dogs, Raw Dogs exclusives, Doggies After Dark, they're all available on our Patreon. Just check out patreon.com/Hair of the Dogcast. There's even a free trial right now at the $5 tier if you're curious. So yeah, we'd love to have you. We'd love to have you join our discussions on our Discord. And if you're interested, just check that out. And as of when I'm recording this intro, we saw The Marvels yesterday. The Marvels was a fantastic movie. I do recommend going to see it as somebody who has been very tired of the MCU as of late. Both The Marvels and Loki Season 2 are exceptional. And yes, so thanks for listening and enjoy the show.
We should do our favorite pornographic features.
I like the Brave Little Toaster.
Yeah, it's my favorite porn.
Pass. The Avengers Infinity War came out April 27th, 2018, directed again by the Russo brothers because they are awesome.
Brothers.
As far as new actors, Peter Dinklage shows up as...
And he's big.
Eitri, the king of the dwarves of Nidavellir.
Did you pronounce that right?
That sounded good.
Thank you.
Can I see it written?
No. Also introduced, we have the Black Order, Thanos' minions.
Yeah.
Gotta be black.
Let's see how many of them Dylan can name. There's 4.
Proxima Midnight. The Lascivious Cow Chunker.
We'll count it.
Phantom Split Cider.
Okay, judges? It is good. Yes, it is good.
Okay, all right. And then we have...
Survey says...
we have Chartov Dumov.
No, that is the famous actor from the Chernobyl series.
Oh, man.
We have Proxima Midnight, Cole Obsidian,
I was actually kind of close. That's weird.
Ebony Maw,
Ebony Maw. Okay, all right.
and Corvus Glaive.
Corvus Glaive, yeah.
Thanos seeks the 6 Infinity Stones in order to kill half of the universe and curb overpopulation. He currently has the Power Stone. He invades the Asgardians, steals the Space Stone, has a fist fight with Hulk, and essentially the whole point of this film is them trying to prevent him from gathering more stones and just failing spectacularly along the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dylan, did you like this film?
I did quite a bit, yeah.
Did I see it with you?
No, I saw it with. I think it was before we were like good friends, and
I call it the golden days.
back when you were just my bartender.
When I couldn't leave.
Yeah, when you couldn't help it. No, I saw it with Matt though, and one of the things that really stuck with me about this film was this was the first time that people really started to understand what comic books were in terms of movies.
Like, wait, these stories have been out already?
Well, here's the thing too. Like, I was literally just like, people were devastated in the movie theater after this movie, and I'm like, they could do a quick Google search and figure out that none of these people are fucking dead, right? Like,
Also, they're just comic book characters; they're not real.
well, but it's also just like to a point where I was just like, why is everyone sad?
You know they're not going to let Spider-Man stay dead.
It's just like, yeah. Well, and then people left, and they're like, "That's really
I
how
feel
the movie
weird,
ends."
Mr. Stark.
That was
Mr. Stark, I feel funny.
that was a heart-wrenching scene.
It really
was, yeah.
We joke now, but like him
Yes.
saying, "I don't want to go," and he's like clinging to Stark, like, "Save me."
That was...
and the fact that he dies
tragic.
slower because of his regenerative abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also,
Heartbreaking.
Being a comic book fan and knowing that your favorite comic book character is going to die tenfold until they finally melt Wolverine with, like, what was it, Jet Flame is how they finally killed him.
What?
When they killed Wolverine, how did they kill him?
They've killed Wolverine
No, but
several times.
when they
So there's
when
a
X-23 took over after the Marvel New 52.
Oh my God, you're right. They actually melted the
With,
core of his adamantium.
Yeah.
I don't remember it
Nerd.
exactly, but
Nerds.
I mean, there's also a special Japanese blade that can kill him. I don't know.
Yeah.
What?
I'm just saying, like,
I
I
We
know
don't talk about that movie.
Sure.
I know
It's
they're gonna
fine.
die, and I know they'll come back.
Yeah.
And even still, at the end of this film, I was like, "Damn, they did a really good job of making this still impactful."
You're really invested in the
Yes.
characters. Like you see each kind of group go through like their own like struggle and failure against Thanos.
and the way
eventually.
that they fade away, they're typically next to somebody. They're fighting next to somebody that they're close with.
Yep.
So it's like you're getting both sides of the coin, and the fact that it's a toss. You don't know who's gonna go, who's not.
Yeah.
So you're kind of on pins and needles once
It's
they
also
start
technically
fading
not
away.
50-50, but you know,
What do you mean?
it just doesn't seem. Well, it just doesn't seem like it was 50% of the universe. I'm saying it seems more like maybe 33.
Hard hitting questions by Dylan, folks.
I don't know.
Like
I got the gist. Like, and this becomes like a talking point in the upcoming phase after this, where it's literally everyone kind of being like, we all suffered this same trauma, like the entire universe did.
I like that they address
After
it
the
in
snap.
the next film.
Yeah.
In the next film, but to see Thanos, I remember just seeing the fist fight with the Hulk,
Yeah.
and he's going toe to toe. Like it was old school, like boxing the way they were going at it. And
Yeah.
I was pumped. And then I also appreciate that the Hulk just doesn't come back. Bruce is like, please. Hulk's like, no.
Hulk's got ED.
Hulk's Hulk can't perform today.
Hulk had too much to drink.
Hulk just tired.
He's tired and had too much to drink.
headache.
I feel you, Hulk. It's fine.
That was you last night, Dylan.
No, actually, I performed admirably.
Oh, good to know.
One thing that's great in this movie, though, as well, is seeing all these characters finally interact with each other. It's one thing with the Avengers where you see it, but like to all of a sudden have like Doctor Strange run in there, Thor meets the Guardians, so a lot of the new characters, and at this point, it's a huge cast.
It's kind of a weird like festival of these characters. There used to be like the Avengers used to be like this kind of like almost like it was kind of like a novelty. Like, oh, look at all these characters that we didn't know what to do with. Let's see them all hanging out together and have them go on adventures. That's literally what it was. But with this one, it's really like, oh, it's just the entire universe. The fact that it's called the Avengers, the fact that everyone can just be an Avenger is interesting, but also silly. Even less than like 20 years ago, Spider-Man wasn't an Avenger.
He's just a dude who hung out sometimes.
But now anyone can just be an Avenger.
Yeah.
It's literally just the coagulation of all the shit that people like.
It's like when Christian Bale flew that nuclear warhead out to sea and
Yeah.
then should have definitely died and ends up in
then
France
he
with
did.
Catwoman.
He
that
fixed
could have
the
been a dream.
navigation system.
An amazing callback to the
Ah.
original Batman movie where Adam
Yeah,
West
yeah.
is trying to get rid of
Yeah,
the bomb.
the bomb, yeah.
An amazing callback. Christopher Nolan had the balls to call back that.
Just like the Batman, the Avenger is not
I
a
was laughing
person.
in
It
the
is.
theater.
Yeah.
It is.
I was like, really? I've seen the Batman movies several times. Like
He's
that
about to
first
throw
one
in the
with Adam
water, and
West.
there's a school of ducklings. He goes, ah! It's like,
It's to run
That's
to the
really
other
what
side of the pier.
happens. Yeah.
it's so good. It literally happens.
I like this movie because it's so well directed in the way that like you don't care about the Order, the Black Order, but
They acknowledge it too. They just
were like mini
we're
bosses.
not giving him names.
yeah, they're like mini bosses on the way to the boss.
Exactly,
It's which is fine, but it's also I also those characters that they used like Proxima Midnight, all these other ones, they were created like 3 years earlier. Literally, they were created for the point of these movies.
Yeah. We just
I
need
think that was the internal memo.
So
we just
not
need
in
some baddies that they can
comic
fight that
books at
aren't
all?
Thanos.
In the comics, like in Infinity Gauntlet, there's no like Proxima Midnight or whatever. Thanos gets the stones and he snaps, and that's it.
Oh.
Like it, and then like Captain America's like, yeah, well, I'm not gonna take your shit. I'll fight you. It's really good. There's also okay. So there's a character named Pip the Troll.
Yeah, he's in the end of the Eternals.
I know,
He's
but
played by what's his name?
Patton Oswalt.
Patton Oswalt. Yep.
No shit.
And he's hanging out with Harry Styles.
Yeah.
That is a That's a combo right there.
Hi, you heard of Thanos? I'm little Thanos.
So Pip.
He starts singing.
God. Pip the troll.
Pip the troll.
Watermelon
my
sugar
God.
high.
If I could explain the plot of Infinity Gauntlet to you guys, you would be like, that's not the movie. You'd be like, what the hell is all this shit? Who's Adam Warlock?
We're gonna find out soon.
Well, you are going to find out soon, but my biggest regret is that he didn't show up in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 because his race is in Guardians of the
They
Galaxy.
tease him as the
Volume
next thing at the end of the movie, though.
2. Yeah, but like, who cares? He's the one who's like
It's
Thanos
setup, man.
is like.
It's good setup, but not before Thanos.
It should have been before Thanos.
So we have multiple factions doing things here. Bruce lands back at Sanctum Sanctorum. So Strange meets up with Tony Stark and Peter Parker, and they all get on Ebony Maw's spaceship. So they're going out to Thanos' homeworld.
They are.
That's where we have Peter and Iron Man and Strange. And they do meet up with the Guardians of the Galaxy and not Thor. Thor meets up with the Guardians.
Yep.
And they decide that Rocket, Groot, and Thor are going to another planet to build Stormbreaker. Thor needs a new hammer.
Yeah, he does.
Gets a badass axe
Yeah.
from Peter Dinklage, the largest he's ever been.
It's kind of an axe.
And it's Groot's arm.
And
Yeah.
we get Teenage Groot,
Yeah.
which I think is good. I think it's
Yeah, I
fine.
like that. I like that addition. I think that's cool.
It's a way to
shows
make it-
progression, but it also shows like
Yeah.
age.
How genius is it for Vin Diesel just to like be able to voice over something in his basement and get paid?
I don't know,
billions of
man.
dollars
I
for it?
saw the trailer for Fast X, and I'm gonna tell you,
all about
he is
family.
just literally phoning it in now. He does
Oh,
not
yeah.
care.
Have you ever seen Triple X?
I heard the
'Cause
word
he's
fam-
phoning
I heard
it in
no,
back then.
He was.
You want to hear about phoning
Except
it
for
in?
Riddick, he was really good.
They're
in Riddick.
making a
He like-
sequel
they're
to
making a
Riddick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Riddick
Four.
Furia.
Riddick 4.
Oh,
Sounds like
no.
Mad Max Furiosa. is
Yeah.
what it sounds like.
You leave that
God.
to Charlize Theron, Mr. Diesel.
But we do get one famous scene that makes people upset where the Guardians of the Galaxy and Tony Stark and Doctor Strange and Peter Parker all trap Thanos in the situation where Mantis is able to like turn him into sleep mode.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
God.
Quill just gets mad that he kidnapped Gamora and killed her. And everyone in the theater collectively started hating Star-Lord at
Yeah,
this moment.
yeah.
Star-Lord has never bounced back from this. People
no,
still
it's not.
hate him
People
from
still
this.
But
don't
I
like
like
Star-Lord.
the decision to do that because he's lost people in his life. He knows what it feels like, and now he's looking at the person responsible
It
for.
feels like a
Kinda
cop
knew
out.
He kind of knew his mom. It's fine.
But you fall in love with a lady, and then you literally have a chance to be like, oh, this is the dude that killed her. What the fuck? And then
And,
but
but
can't-
also, you should know, like, the best thing we could do is get this gauntlet off him, and that'll be the best way to teach him a lesson.
Yeah.
Instead of, ooh, I'm going to punch him.
it was a good way to do it, in my opinion, because they had to do something. They were
well, they
were
needed.
not
well,
gonna
they,
be
they,
out.
well, they
Which
need-
isn't Drax there too? And like Drax has this vengeance against
Drax is
Thanos?
more mad at Thanos than anyone.
Drax
Yeah.
is
yeah.
allowed
wait
to be
a
the
minute.
most mad
Where
at
is
Thanos.
Drax during this?
One at a time. We're all excited. It's fine.
Where is Drax during the
I forget.
the pivotal scene?
He was peeing.
He was taking more.
I'm
protein.
joking.
I was like, whoa, I missed something.
You really did. There's
No,
just like a scene him peeing against a
You'd
tree.
think you'd want him there.
Yeah.
This is how
Like
he
it's
gets
this
away, though.
pivotal moment.
Thanos meets Red Skull on Vormir. That's where Gamora
I can't
dies.
believe they brought Red Skull back for just that.
Even Hugo Weaving said, I don't think that's a good idea.
Red Skull.
You know
is,
that's not Hugo Weaving.
That's why he didn't do it.
Red
Yeah.
Skull is the
Is it
most.
really?
It's
Yeah,
not
they-
Hugo Weaving.
They recasted him.
It's
They
easy when
recast
it's
him.
easy when you don't have to
Don't
use
blame
their
him.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
No
it's
kidding.
what the funniest thing is.
Hello,
like, really,
Mr.
the Red
Thanos.
Skull. Like the coolest thing about the Red Skull is that it's a Nazi in modern day life. Like when Captain America still faces him, he's still attacking the idea of white supremacy and like what that means and whatever. And it's so funny that he just becomes like a spirit to protect a thing. Like it makes no fucking sense.
My buddy in college referred to him as Dog Dick Man because of his red head, and now
Dog Dick Man, I like that.
to this day,
We call him the Red Rocket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't see that character and not think of my friend
get
in
it
college being like
you can't not stop thinking about Dog Dick.
that too. But my friend just going, "Yeah, you got Dog Dick Man over there," and I'm like, "Who the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah, well,
Red Skull.
Accurate.
Meanwhile,
Red Skull.
though, Wanda and Vision are apparently dating. This is not something I knew was going to happen, but I'm like, fine. Dylan you knew this was coming because you know you've read these books. They're comic books, is what they're called.
I've read these awful 70s comic books. I've read most of them. Yeah.
I loved WandaVision, so for me to go back and watch this and just like
there was flirtation in Civil War. There was always that.
It's also though watching Wanda slowly lose an accent the whole time.
Oh god!
Where they find her character.
Oh yeah, where they finally
I'm Wanda Maximoff, and I'm actually just a regular American now.
Elizabeth Olsen got tired. Let's give her some credit.
Would Magneto be able to pull the gauntlet off of Thanos' hand?
Yeah.
Well, but
is
also
metal or is gold?
But if he keeps his
what
like hand closed,
yeah, that's why I'm
matter.
asking our resident
It
expert.
doesn't fucking matter.
But could Magneto
Magneto can stop you from breathing because he can manipulate the iron in your blood. What are we talking about?
Does Magneto ever fight Thanos in the comics?
Wait, so X-Men and
X-Men are in the MCU.
Oh. Yeah.
Not yet.
Well, they will.
but they are like in
Magneto
It would have made Age of
apparently
Ultron
Deadpool-
way more badass.
Apparently
the comics are great.
Deadpool 3 is what's going to really push the multiverse to like a breaking point, is what I've heard.
Also, we've talked to Zero about Deadpool so far.
That's because he's not in the MCU.
He's not the MCU yet.
Oh man.
But also, they realize, wow, they really want to break into Vision's forehead. We have to hide Vision or cure this.
Yeah, so
I mean, they're not
Vision
wrong.
has
Vision
the
has this
Soul Stone.
intense moment where he says, "Kill me and destroy the stone."
He's
to
got
Wanda.
the mind stone.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's
made with it.
pleads.
Would they be able to destroy the stone? Like canonically, would like,
Wanda could, is what
Wanda
they
could.
say. Wanda is like one of the only people that would have the ability to
Yeah.
break the stone. And she does.
Okay. Well,
She does it at the end of the film, but then Thanos just pulls her
back
rewind. He's
time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Time
That
is
damn
like the
time
biggest
stone.
one. Oh, it's
And we, of course, cannot forget the scene where Doctor Strange.
Magneto-
I've seen an infinite number of universes, and there's only one where
I've always said this, and I've said it like very like wholeheartedly. It was one of the
Kate
question I've
Blanchett is
asked
mommy.
my wife. Well, yeah. But
On me with your
I've
high
said this
heels.
many times.
but
How do
I've
you
always
feel about
said that
Resident Evil?
magnetism is the most powerful ability in the Marvel universe.
I think it's
period.
love.
Yeah. Thanks, Carly laughed.
Thanks, Carly.
that again?
Carly doesn't think it's so great.
Carly's sitting there like, no, it's magnetism.
It's magnetism, you dipshit. You can fly with magnetism. You're bulletproof. You're
Which also,
basically
how does that
invincible.
work? How does he fly?
Okay, enough.
How does he fly? He uses electromagnetism. It's in the air around us, man.
And we have a magnet core, so couldn't he just repel himself
Is there
against
like a
it?
magnetic field around the Earth?
The
make a
entire Earth
plan.
has a magnetic field.
They make a plan, though. We're going to Wakanda. They might.
Going to Wakanda.
They might have.
Going to Wakanda.
Going to eat a lot of peaches. Going to Wakanda. Gonna steal a mind stone out of Vision. They figure Wakanda. They figure they go down to Wakanda. They might be able to get the mind stone out of Vision, and because even Vision says, "Just let me, just kill me, please kill me." And everyone's like, "No, we don't do that." And I'm sitting there like, maybe you should just kill him.
Yeah.
Like, if it's
Honestly,
the only way
like-
to save the universe, it seems like Vision's not too important.
If
But
the
they-
one dude that has to die is on board with it, sounds like a pretty solid
He's
plan.
really into it.
But he has the time stone at that point and could just go back in time. Can he?
Yeah, that is true.
So it's like the Doctor Strange, like you said, there's a million different
This is the only way.
universes that this happens. This is the only. So he's got to die.
And after Doctor Strange says this is literally the only way this can happen, I'm like, well, okay, well, anything can happen and it's fine.
Yeah.
Because it's what has to happen.
Yeah, it's a movie.
But they go to Wakanda and essentially they just fortify everything and they get ready to fight. And one of the best moments of the movie is when Thor lands in the middle
I was
of the
waiting for
battlefield
this.
with
Yeah.
Stormbreaker. Someone has a line like, "Oh, you're fucked now." I think it's Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, now you're in big trouble. And Banner's running around in the Hulkbuster. Thor shows up with Stormbreaker. The great line, I am Groot. And then Captain America, I am Steve Rogers. Great
Steve
line.
Rogers with the beard too.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, he's kind of like he's
Hashtag my
nomad.
captain.
That's America's ass.
He's
right
in his
there.
nomad period, if you know what I'm saying, comic fans.
Yeah, T'Challa goes, get this man a shield. Gets that like badass like mini
gets-
shield
yep,
that he
yeah,
uses.
Yeah.
The thing I like most about this movie is like once we get all the setup out of the way and it's like, all right, it's go time. The last huge chunk of the movie is just balls to the wall action sequences, and it goes on for so long, and it is so well done. They do fight scenes in the MCU so fucking well.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're amazing.
The Russos,
This
the
time
Russos
is
are
very
good.
good.
Yeah.
The reason the Russos were hired is because of in Community they directed the paintball episodes.
Which are the best episodes.
They are. They are so good.
Also, famously in this film, they also directed some of the episodes of Arrested Development. Tobias Funke's in this film from Arrested Development. He's in he's in like a background shot in a prison
David Cross?
in full blue makeup with the mustache.
Are you kidding?
He's just in a
Oh my
prison cell
God.
in the background of a shot.
So not even David Cross, just a
I'm
representation.
not sure.
of
They,
him.
I
Tobias
think
Funke.
they really tried to get David
That's
Cross there. I don't know if it
hilarious.
was or not, but there's just like a dude with a mustache and
That's-
glasses painted blue in the background sitting in a prison.
Is he wearing jean shorts?
I was about to say never nude.
I forget. But
Oh
no,
my God.
the Russo brothers were insisting like, no,
Jeez.
Tobias is in here.
Well,
for sure.
that's the barge. What do they call that? Prison ship?
that's the barge.
Oh, it's not called the barge. It's called like the prison.
That's what it's called.
The first edit so far of the day. Thank you to Dylan. My ears hurt.
I'm so sorry. I know you hate it when I burp. I just did it anyway.
In the end, Wanda has to make the horribly tough decision to kill Vision, destroy the stone, and then watch Vision brought back to life, the stone ripped out from his head and killed again.
It is super violent.
In front of her.
There's a reason Wanda goes like full on serial killer in WandaVision.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Well, when Thanos rips the stone out of Vision's forehead, I found it to be super graphic.
Painful.
It really was, yeah. It's like digging into his forehead.
Yeah, it is violent.
Ugh.
Well, you got to put that on Paul Bettany though. I think Paul Bettany fucking rolled
sold
with
it.
that.
Oh, hell
He's
yeah.
he's like $1 million.
He's like, oh, and he's like, oh, this is how it would actually hurt. I'm like,
And
if
then
I had a
when-
big stone in my head that made me alive.
be a little, you would be that.
It's called your brain, Dylan.
Oh shit!
You know, there's a rapper that did that, right? What's his name? Lil Yachty? No, it's not Lil Yachty. Lil Uzi Vert. He has
Did he really?
a pink diamond dermaled into his forehead, and it's worth like millions of dollars.
All right.
If I pull it out, does he
And-
die?
Well, he said
might.
that
He might, actually.
Dylan
think at one
just
point-
goes to the tough question right away.
he won't die, but they said that there was a
look this
at
up.
one point there was
There's
a
a
complication
complication.
where he could have died, and then he was worried about being robbed. And I'm like, you put a $3 million pink diamond on your forehead,
Jeez Louise!
you fucking idiot.
I want to rob his head.
yeah.
But Thanos does snap. Half the people die. This just happens. And it's a great ending. It's Thanos wins. This is Thanos' film.
This looks ridiculous.
Yeah, see, there he is.
It's Thanos looking off into the sunset, happy knowing he won, and everyone's dejected and half of everyone's dead, or even 33% of them.
Doesn't-
farming?
you
or
missed-
It's a
something?
good movie. It's a good movie going.
You missed the
playing
badass
Farmville.
line where Thor stabs him in the chest, and then he's like, "You should have went for the head," and then like snaps, and you're just like, "What?"
Yep.
Yep.
Josh
That was
a good
Brolin.
one.
Josh Brolin as Thanos is a perfect casting choice.
Yes,
And
it
you
is.
see the onset photos of it's him in this half like giant big muscle suit, and somehow to bring pathos with
Yeah.
through that is amazing.
Yeah, they did such a good job.
Yeah, so let's rank Avengers Infinity War. Avengers Infinity War or Captain America 2?
Infinity War.
Infinity War.
Infinity War.
Yep, agreed. Infinity War or Guardians of the Galaxy 1?
Infinity War.
Infinity War.
Infinity War.
Infinity War.
Infinity War or Thor Ragnarok?
Infinity War.
See, that's
Thor
where-
Ragnarok.
I gotta say Ragnarok.
I'm already outvoted unless you vote otherwise.
But follow your heart.
I mean, I did.
Dylan's using the powers of magnetism on you.
Ragnarok.
Okay.
All right, so
Ragnarok it shall be.
I accept.
that's a solid top three, though.
It really
Yeah,
is.
it's not bad.
That's tough. It's rough.
All right, our next film we have coming up. It's a little snack after having an intense amount of food. They followed up here with Ant-Man and the Wasp, July 6, 2018, directed by Peyton Reed, famous for the Weird Al show and directing Bring It On, another one of our
The
favorite
original
films.
Bring It On?
Yep.
I love that movie.
Great film.
It's good.
Hayden Panettiere.
I said
No.
No.
Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst.
And
She
Gabrielle Union.
She's in Bring It On again.
And Eliza Dushku. She's also in
Eliza
it from Wrong
Dushku.
Turn.
She the brunette?
She's the brunette. I think
so
her name's
hot.
Misty in the movie. or
Ant-Man
something
and
like
the
that.
Wasp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Returning, we have, of course, Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Hank Pym, played by Michael
Evangeline.
Douglas. Evangeline.
Evangeline. Yeah.
Luis, played by Michael Pena. We have Janet Van Dyne, Michelle Pfeiffer. Ghost is played by Hannah John Kamen.
She rules in that.
Bill Foster, played by Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
Very good. Jimmy Woo as Randall Park. And Sonny Birch, played by Walton Goggins. Always love when he
Goggins
shows up
is cool.
anywhere.
I love
Is
Walton
this the
Goggins.
Uncle
First-
Baby Billy.
Introduction to Jimmy Woo?
I'm not sure.
Introduction.
I think this is his first introduction.
Yes.
But
He was so good in Loki.
it's always weird. It's weird to me that this happens before the snap. After
It
the
does,
snap.
yeah. Okay. Well, they had to do it that way. It's just how it works.
Yep.
But also, they discover things in this that influence. So it's actually a really cool like storytelling device where you kind of give like it's not in media res from the entire like subset. It's like
This all happened meanwhile.
that's what's cool about it. It's like this happened before. You just have to deal with the conceit, but also you discover something that's going to help you in the next movie.
But where
I think
was
that's
Ant-Man? And it goes back to Ant-Man, yeah.
The quantum realm, a really interesting realm.
I think we're going to learn a lot about it soon.
There's a whole mania about it. I heard.
It's cool in the previews.
It's called Hulkamania.
And it's going to run wild on you.
If the Ant-Man's third film was Hulkamania, it'd be probably better. Hulk Hogan plays Kang.
Hulk Hogan.
That's actually awesome.
Listen here, brother.
Brother, I fucked that guy's
What's it
wife.
going to be, Ant-Man, brother?
I fucked that guy's wife, but it wasn't a cuck thing.
I got the skin of a hot dog.
You want to go up against these 24-inch pythons.
Before the snap, Scott's skirmish with the Avengers got him arrested. This is going back to Civil War.
And he got on the barge.
Hank believes that Hope's mother, Janet, may still be alive in the quantum realm. They're getting weird visions sent to him. So they break Scott out of prison to help out. It's the classic, if I'm caught out of prison, I'm fucked. So Scott's got an ant playing drums, wearing a collar on his foot to make sure that it's being tracked properly.
It's true.
So yeah, essentially they're just trying to break into the quantum realm. They need Ant-Man's help. Chaos erupts as they run into Ghost and Bill Foster. We find out that Goliath, Bill Foster, is trying to help her cure whatever what's Ghost have? She phases in and out of reality and it's killing her.
Essentially. Yeah.
And yeah, they're trying to
I
save
don't know
her
too
life.
much about it, to be honest.
Ant-Man's fight scenes are great. They're fun and inventive, and they're different. When you see them playing with toy trucks on big streets and throwing salt shakers blown large,
That's cool.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
And Paul Rudd is so good as Ant-Man. I mean, I'll watch anything Paul
Oh
Rudd's
my
in.
God, I'll watch anything with Paul Rudd. Come on.
Yeah. That's all it is.
When they play with the size stuff in a very fun way.
Also,
When they make him like a child size Ant-Man, he's running through the school in like a hoodie. That shit's just funny.
I think that these movies succeed purely on comedy alone, and this is another example of where if you let your stuff not be so self-serious that you can have like these real like internal successes. This movie did not do as well.
It's tough to follow the biggest film ever.
Infinity War, people were still shell-shocked from like what happens in the fucking movie. And the movie ends on like the worst thing that you can imagine. In like, all of our favorite characters are dead. Like, what are you supposed to do about that? But
it's really funny that Ant-Man just had no idea all of this was going. No one called him when this stuff was happening with Thanos.
No one. Yeah, well, he was busy.
And I think I don't have a lot to say about this movie other than it's just more good Ant-Man.
Doesn't it have the villain? Isn't it the bald dude who was from House of Cards? He played.
No, you're thinking Ant-Man 1.
That's Ant-Man 1.
Who might be turning into MODOK, I've heard.
Really?
That actor's
Isn't
really
Patton
good.
Oswalt mine?
No,
that was a
no,
TV
that's
show.
a TV
That was
show
an animated
from,
show.
Oh yeah.
before Hulu lost all the rights to Marvel streaming shit.
Interesting.
So there's only one season of MODOK.
The stuff with the quantum realm was great.
Yep. Yeah, I like it. I like how they visualize it. I think the CG works in this movie. I think that that the story is really interesting. It's exploratory. It's almost about just like, it's not really a story about heroes and villains. It's literally a story about like how can science ruin things.
And it's a story of people with different motivations that you can sympathize with, which is what you really want with a villain.
Well, Hank Pym.
Michael Douglas is great. I love Michael Douglas.
Hank Pym is such a controversial comic book character because there is a point where he backhands the Wasp in like early Avengers comics.
Like what, 60s, 70s?
Yeah.
Back when that was probably like
he shot-
on the headlines, like,
I know.
we love Hank Pym. He hits women.
But
Yeah.
then that became like a going narrative, and in like the Ultimates, which is the Ultimate Universe Avengers, he literally just like beats the shit out of her and like attacks ants on
Don't
her.
like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, okay.
That's weird.
So
In
yeah,
Mighty Ducks 3, when they sick the ants on the other players in college,
That's good,
even
though.
that was bad, I thought. That was too much.
Mighty Ducks 3?
Yeah, Mighty Ducks 3, when they go to college, D3 is what they,
They went
call
to
it.
they went to college?
Yeah, and
when they're in
they put
college-
ants on the varsity team. It's really funny.
Well, first,
I love that.
Well, no varsity team in college because it'd be a college team. Are they D1 even though it's D3? Or are they playing in D3 and D3?
D3 and D3.
Or are they D1 and D3? They could
gonna
also
look
be
this up.
D2.
All I know is that they
Look,
legally
D3.
take the Ducks jerseys, and that should not be allowed for a college team to just change their team name halfway through the year.
Unveiled new jerseys at the end of the film. It's like,
fine.
what are you doing?
Though Ant-Man's fun. They're funny. I don't have a lot else to say other than
I really like this movie. I remember enough of it for it to like stick, but I don't think it's highly memorable.
Yeah,
and it's
I agree
also
with
you shouldn't think too hard about the logic of what's happening because the
Also-
fact that he can be so small and still punches hard when he's little makes me think when
Yeah.
he's really big he must be incredibly weak. Like,
Well, no, that's not how it works. It's proportionality, but whatever. I'm not going to get into this. It's not worth it.
If
I get what you mean though. It's physics. Of,
Yeah,
you know, you can be huge and
Right.
throwing a appearingly slow punch, but
Yeah.
because you have all this weight behind the force,
yeah, exactly.
it's
If anything, this
Bigger.
just makes me more excited for the next Ant-Man movie because it looks like they're going bigger with it, and we get Kang.
we'll see. I think it'll be good.
Was
Yeah.
everyone really that? I've read a ton of stories with Kang. I'm sorry, he's fine.
I'm excited to get more of a new villain, and I love Jonathan Majors.
Yes,
He's great.
He,
Yes,
he is super charismatic.
Lovecraft
and
Country. Did you watch that?
so good.
course.
Lovecraft Country.
yeah,
should have gotten a season 2.
yeah.
One of the worst tragedies.
Those last 2 episodes were awful, but yeah,
How do you stick that landing, though?
how you stick a landing like that? I
It's a
know.
weird fucking show.
I know.
The best part of Ant-Man 2, in my opinion, the credit scene where Ant-Man is in the quantum realm
Yeah.
and the other 3 get fucking snapped out of existence and he's
Yep.
trapped there.
Yep.
How, like, that is scary. That's scary shit.
And he has
It's
no
like being
idea what's
trapped out
going
on like open water.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's that level of scary. Like I would flip my shit. How do you stay calm?
Ant-Man and the Wasp or Captain America Civil War?
Civil War.
Sure.
so.
Ant-Man and the Wasp or Ant-Man 1?
Ant-Man 1.
Ant-Man 1.
Yep.
I would go in the Wasp, but okay.
Whoa.
Iron Man 1 or Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Iron Man,
Iron Man
1.
1.
Iron Man.
Ant-Man and the Wasp
Iron Man
or...
1's so low.
It's one of the perfect movies.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good movies in front of it.
Yeah, but it's
Ant-Man and the Wasp
whatever.
or Iron Man 2?
Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. Tyler, you and me on shoot.
Iron Man
paper,
two.
Scissors. Rock, paper, scissors, rock. Fuck. Damn it, Tyler. Okay, so
Sorry.
Avengers: Age of Ultron
I've lost
or
all.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and the Wasp or Doctor Strange.
Ant-Man,
Ant-Man and the Wasp. Our list is so fucked.
I agree,
Our list is so fucking up.
guys. This is
Doctor
how it works
Strange
when
scored.
you rank with a ton of people.
people fucking
Yeah.
hate whatever. It's fine.
All right.
Do you like my personality? Do you? This is my Brie Larson impression. Do you like my personality?
I loved Brie Larson
She's good in a lot of things.
in Room. She was so good in Room.
She's good in so many things.
And I was excited for her to be cast. And then I heard her just like calling out all men, which there is large problems with representation and with how men treat women. We're not saying that's wrong.
Especially in show business.
A big time in show business. But the way Brie Larson was like going about some of these interviews, and it's good to call things out when they're wrong. I'm trying to like tiptoe here. I don't know how to say this delicately. I just didn't like the film though. That's the biggest problem. I didn't like the film.
Well, here's the problem. Well, here's the biggest problem. So she was cast 5 years before that movie was made.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
She was literally cast 5 years before that movie was made.
5 years before that.
Well, that's the thing. And the whole thing about this is by the time they got around to making Captain Marvel, it ended up being a situation where she thought she was hotter than shit. I think this is an ego thing now. I actually legitimately find that it's just like, well, I actually starred in these movies where things mattered, and I am also kind of a director. And when she initially got cast, she was perfect for the role. She's a great Carol Danvers, based on like all of her like her ability as an actress and everything. It all works. But
hired an amazing actress to play a character. This should
all work.
Just work fine.
But they were gonna do Captain Marvel in Phase 2 at one point.
I think the problem is
they couldn't fit it in though, and they couldn't make it work because the moment you introduce a Superman level, power level character is when everything kind of
that scale is fucked, and you don't know how to write around it a lot of times.
She just stomps everybody, and
she shows up and just flies through Thanos' warship.
Yeah,
and I'm like, well, I guess we don't really need Hawkeye here.
Yeah, Hawkeye doesn't happen.
This would have been nicer, 3 movies ago.
Even Hawkeye in Avengers 2, he's like, I'm pretty pointless now.
These are problems that can be solved with clever writing if you know what the characters are good at, and you like, especially when it comes to like battle
sometimes some of the street level stuff. It makes sense.
And if you give them proper motivations to include them or not include them in certain like scenes or events, they'll they had prior motivations or commitments elsewhere.
And I mean, people will take them in and they'll actually internalize them.
I think Carol Danvers was just underwritten and also misdirected.
She's not much of a character to begin with.
Well, I just don't like. The portrayal of Brie Larson's Carol Danvers isn't
just like an alien. It's
weird. Not fun to watch. No. She comes off half the time as like super overly snarky
or flat.
Yep. The humor is forced and doesn't land.
And it's all based off of like, hey, remember the 90s?
And I hate to say, like, the best parts of this film, I do like Samuel Jackson most of the time.
Yep.
But my favorite
his origin story of the eye patch.
Talos played by Ben Mendelsohn was my favorite thing.
Yeah. The Kree or the Skrull soldier.
Yeah.
He's really good.
He's very fun, and it's great. I get it. It's in the 90s. The 90s we like the 90s. That's fine.
Yeah. The dream of the 90s is alive in Portland.
It's still alive out in Portland at the Blockbuster Videos.
Yep. Put a bird on it.
Yeah. It's still happening out there. It's still happening.
I think for me, just to echo what Dylan said, it really just breaks the whole continuum and power matchups with Thanos versus the Avengers, and to have it at this time in all the movies and that everything that we've seen, where was Captain Marvel in Endgame? Not Endgame, Infinity War.
She was fighting other stuff.
She was
the universe.
Going to find the Skrull new planet.
We will find that out.
What happens?
No, we'll find that out next. We're going to find that out with her next film with the Marvels, because there is a huge thing that they're leaving to be explained that they don't explain because they didn't know how to explain it.
So I just
Captain Marvel's just she's just Superman. She just shows up. And they play I'm just a girl a lot when she's around. That's all I got.
She was just Infinity War, they got this.
They should have just left her out. They should have just saved her for after Thanos and then retcon it somehow. But her inclusion definitely felt weird. Because it was okay, we're nearing the end of this entire saga. Don't feel like we need another new character. And then on top of that,
that's teased as everything's fucked. Let's now summon her now.
Yeah. It's
Nick Fury's facing the end of the universe and he's like,
He couldn't have done that during the Battle of New York.
So, Carol Danvers fights Jude Law. She meets Monica Rambeau.
Oh, Jude Law.
Yeah, Jude Law's in this film. He's the villain, remember?
Yeah.
And she
remember it
destroys a
now.
Totally
pinball
forgot
machine.
that. Yeah.
They
I just
also
saw Jude Law, and I was like, oh, Jude Law, cool.
to me they pigeonhole music. After Guardians was popular, they kept trying to like bring other movies in
Recreate,
that
yeah.
were like
Yeah.
using
So
nostalgia.
did Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just gonna say Suicide
Good
Squad.
lord, the first one is like,
Born on the Bayou, and then fucking Killer Croc shows up.
dude, just like. I hope you like 20 different songs in 10 minutes because we're doing it.
We're doing it. Yeah.
Music cues, here we come.
Although we did get Heathens by 21 Pilots from that movie, so that was kind of a dub. That's a good song.
And
Okay, if you say so.
there is a cat named there's a cat named Goose that is a flurkin that attacks.
We like Goose.
We like Goose because it is a cat, and also it's funny. It has a
it's an
tesseract.
orange
It holds a tesseract in its belly, which I also appreciate. We see a little bit of Lee Pace's Ronan the Accuser, which I think is cool. It's
Yeah,
like a
that's
fun
interesting, yeah.
little callback, but I don't have a lot of fondness for Captain Marvel. Other than I really like Ben Mendelsohn. Sign me up for as much of him.
Sure.
Let's do a ranking here of Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel or Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Incredible Hulk or Captain Marvel?
Wait, which
Incredible Hulk. With
Edward Norton, the MCU?
Already.
one? I was like Edward Norton, Eric Bana. Incredible Hulk.
Incredible Hulk.
Incredible Hulk.
Captain Marvel or Iron Man 3?
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3.
Captain Marvel or Thor?
Thor.
Thor.
Captain Marvel is officially the last film.
Jesus.
Wow, they're lucky for that one.
I
would've
want
put
to reiterate that I think that this movie is serviceable, but I also think that it
is worse than every other one.
It's the pandery. Well, these are all pandery, but like this, it's the pandery nature of this one specifically that really turned me off. I also think Brie Larson didn't have her heart in it, and I think that by the time she actually got to filming after she was hired, she was just not interested. I think you can see it in her performance. I think she thought she was too good for it, and I still think she thinks she's too good for it.
She even now
Damn,
was bad
Dylan
too.
bringing down the hammer.
she even makes comments today. Someone's
She
like,
still says shit.
someone
like that.
says, Brie, are you excited to be playing Captain Marvel again in the Marvels? And she's like, I don't know. Is anyone excited for me to do it anymore? Doesn't seem like it.
"Yeah, well,
Hi,
cool,
I'm
cool."
interviewing you and trying to give you layups
Yeah.
to make everyone excited
come on.
about you.
Yeah, she's not. She's
Here's
not
a
good self-promoter.
softball. Would you like a home run?
Go fuck yourself.
Like, look,
Fuck you.
I like Brie Larson. I like her politics, but I can't say anything else based off of the fact that she just like.
There is
you
a
have to
grace. You
understand
need to
what
have a
you're
grace
doing.
when you do this too.
You
It's
gotta
knowing
be
when
the
to
dude.
pick your battles. Not pick your battles, when to pick that battle.
I don't think anyone has to specifically be anything, and I think she can be in like an advocate or like someone who's a little like edgy without. I don't know. Like if I started acting like that in public, like I would expect
do.
people to hate me.
Well, there's a
You
time
do
to
act
voice.
Some people hate me,
you
but that's
do-
fine.
There's a time to voice like whatever you believe in, and then there's a time to promote this silly little movie you're doing. Not everything has to be a giant platform for you to project whatever the fuck you're thinking.
But you also need to use your platforms at the right times to
Yes.
make these statements.
Well,
but
she
pick those
has
battles.
She has now like Jennifer Lawrence syndrome, which Jennifer Lawrence played Mystique in like the X-Men like prequels.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
now like she got big in the moment of that.
And she was
now
making
she can't.
She's making fun of like interviewers using their phone to translate because they don't English
Yeah.
isn't their first language. She's like, get off your phone. And it's like this person is trying really hard to like translate
Figure it
their
out.
language. I don't know. Jennifer Lawrence shot herself in the foot many times
Jennifer
too.
Lawrence was all, like it's all this thing. Like I mean, women can't. The unfortunate.
Oh.
No, I'm saying
Dylan
like it's really
alienated,
hard.
like,
no, I'm
5
saying
of
what
the
I'm, no.
viewers.
What I'm saying is women. It's really hard for women to succeed because a lot of the things that men do, they get away with very easily, especially if they have an attitude.
Harry Styles.
But women, yeah, exactly.
He recently won a Grammy. He's like, this never happens to people like me. And everyone's like, what?
You are literally
You
like,
poor white male.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's hard
'cause-
for women,
yeah.
and I'm also saying like if you're gonna be like kind of a spitfire, if you're gonna be any type of personality, people are not gonna accept it as much, and that's the reason why I defend them. But also at the same time, if you're actively against what you're doing because you have like a contract, then I kind of lose my sympathy for you because you're still rich and I'm not rich.
Yeah, so
who
fuck
gives
you.
a shit? Yeah. Anyone who says shit like that, I'm like, yeah, I would literally, like, if Casper Mattresses came to us tomorrow and wanted to, like, be with us, I would be like,
I'm married, dude. I can't just be hanging out with Casper Mattress.
Dude, we're going to have a threesome with Casper Mattress.
You should buy a Casper Mattress because we fucked them.
Dude, I fucked Casper.
There will be some light evidence.
And we're back with another great episode of...
Hold your horses, mister. This is a commercial for our show, Nasty Labs, not the actual show.
You mean to tell me this is a commercial for our bi-weekly show from game studio Chuhai Labs where we talk about games, game dev, Japan, and whatever else comes up?
Yep, and it stars me, Kinsey Burke. And also it has my junior co-host, Mark Lentz.
Sup, though?
So catch brand new episodes twice monthly for only 3 easy payments of $420.69.
That doesn't make sense.
Nasty Labs! Only on the Tokyo Beat Network.
Today's show was brought to you by EPOS Gaming Audio, with a comprehensive lineup of both wired and wireless headsets, gaming amplifiers, microphones, and webcams. EPOS has everything you need to experience the power of audio. Like their H6 Pro lineup, which features 2 versions, an open or closed headset. The closed headset allows you to tap into exceptionally detailed audio and seals out ambient noise, while the open version delivers natural high-fidelity audio with an incredible soundstage. Both headsets include a magnetic detachable microphone and a sleek design that has no wild RGB configurations, just good design. Listeners can save 15% by visiting www.eposaudio.com/gaming and entering code EPOSFRIEND15 at checkout. That is EPOSFRIEND15 at checkout.
Okay.
Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame came out April 26, 2019, directed by the Russo brothers again. Story, 23 days after the snap. Carol Danvers rescues Iron Man and Nebula from deep space. The remaining Avengers meet on Earth, and they make a plan to kill Thanos. They go kill him. Thor buries his fucking axe in his head very hard.
He does.
I didn't expect him to kill Thanos that fast.
I expected it.
Yep.
It was a great twist and made the film seem very open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool. Yeah.
This is...
He was ready.
Thanos didn't care.
yeah.
No, because Thanos already killed the stones. He's like, I did what I came to do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if you kill me.
He was
He's
on a
on a
suicide
farm.
mission anyway. He didn't give
It
a
also
fuck.
creates a little
Just
bit of a
chilling.
paradox, because if there's an opportunity for the Avengers to reverse what he did, do you think he gives a fuck? Or he achieved what he wanted?
What do you mean?
Oh,
he
so
he
he's
probably
dead.
didn't know about time travel
So-
at that point. Well, I mean,
He did. He
did.
did.
Well,
He went
No,
back in
he
the time
ends up
zone.
he ends up finding out about time travel because he
Of
sees
Nebula.
himself. Well, he sees himself die because they go back in time.
But the time stone doesn't allow you to time travel. It allows you to reverse some time. You don't get to like send yourself back in time.
But
with the time
Thanos is
stone.
well
Yes,
aware
you
of
can.
what time travel
Not
is
in the
and that
movies.
it exists.
Oh.
My question is, does Thanos at the beginning of Endgame give a fuck that he dies?
No,
Or
he doesn't give a
He's
shit.
ready to die because
Yeah. He did what he did.
does he think they can reverse what he did? Or is he happy because even though he's dead, he achieved
He
his
doesn't
mission?
think they can reverse it.
Okay,
5 years later.
He doesn't understand the quantum realm.
that's true.
5 years later, a mouse is running across a control panel in a van and accidentally calls Ant-Man back from the quantum realm.
Jeez, 5 years, but in the quantum realm,
Couple
time
hours.
doesn't move quick.
It felt like 5 hours to him.
Yep.
He didn't know how long
Yep.
he was gone for.
Yep.
And this leads the Avengers to believe, hey, time travel might be possible. And the horrible theories you read online about what this movie would be about is true. It will just be a big time travel
Mishap.
fest.
Also, if you could use one F word in the MCU, having Paul Rudd go, "What the fuck is going on?" would have been hilarious.
They missed it, though.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't do that. They need to sell action figures.
You know, I love this movie. I think Endgame is better than Infinity War. It's only from the standpoint of how do you dismount?
Yes.
How do you do a
And they
giant
just-
flip in the air and then just fucking go like, bop, bop?
Yes.
And then your arms are in a Y,
And you
you're
stick the
fantastic,
landing.
and you feel good,
and that's why-
you're breathing cool.
It's why it's even like weirder than when the MCU doesn't stick a landing on something because they're
yeah.
so good.
I know.
98% of the time, it's
Yeah.
like they did it again, and then
You're just like,
sometimes they miss.
And this
Like Ms.
movie
Marvel.
I mean, the payoffs that you get in this are so fucking good.
Yeah.
Like the return of Spider-Man. You get Captain America picking up the hammer and going full berserker.
And you get those fun things too, where like Captain America runs into younger Captain America, is like, I don't know who you are, but you're not taking that. And Captain America is like, the older guy's like,
I could do those
He's
all
like,
day.
I know you're not gonna fucking give up right now. Fuck.
Yeah.
Just
He hates it. Yeah.
If I had to
He's
deal
like,
with, if I had to deal with young Brad, I'd be like, you're an idiot. Fuck.
oh man, if I could kick the shit out of young Dylan, it'd be so fun.
Am I having a fever dream, or does he knock out his younger self and then
does.
look at
checks out his
younger-
own butt.
and he
Looks at
goes,
his butt.
"That's America's ass."
That's America's
okay.
ass.
I didn't know if that was in there or not.
So it's two scenes that really get me. It's That's America's
He's got
ass.
it written down.
And then, shit, what was the other one?
It's just, you wrote America's ass twice.
Oh, and then tacos, the taco spot with Hulk and
Shawarma?
Scott Lang.
no. When
No,
he,
because Scott's outside. He's outside the Avengers headquarters. He's trying to eat some hard shell tacos, and the Quinjet comes down, and it just blows him all over. He's like, fuck, like he's. And then Hulk's like, here's a taco.
And he does like the little pinch too, because
Yep.
it's tiny
Yeah.
in his giant hands, and he's just like,
There you go.
they play that joke up too when they're discussing Time Machine in that like cafe, and someone's like, "Oh my god, can I get your autograph?" And Ant-Man's getting excited, and they go right to the Hulk.
Yeah. They also go out of their way to explain how Doctor Strange would matter in the universe in the time of the Battle of New York from Avengers 1.
Because they travel back to
Yeah.
2012 to
Yeah.
New York, because this is one of the times there's the most like Infinity Stones in one spot.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so Tilda Swinton is basically like the Hulk talks to her and it's just like, hey, this is what's happening.
First thing
She's
she does is like she knocks Bruce Banner right out of the Hulk. She's like, "Slow down, bitch."
yeah.
which was really cool. And it also kind of leads into Doctor Strange again retrospectively, which is cool. Like that's a really cool storytelling mechanic. She
Same
knew
reason
what
I
was
like.
gonna,
Same
she
reason I
knew
like
she
the
was going.
Vulture being in 2012.
Well,
When
she
they,
knew
showed
she
that.
was going to die, but she also knew that was what needed to happen for this to happen. Like it's almost like she's the ancient one.
And there's also a scene where like future Brad sees old Brad at a club, and he sees how he's acting, and he's just really embarrassed about it. And that's the Hulk seeing like old.
Are you
Hulk.
doing a stand-up routine?
No, what I'm saying is it's like
He's got 5 minutes.
it's like when the Hulk.
Can I hear your type 5?
I don't even know what that means.
Your stand-up routine.
No, because there is no stand-up routine.
Oh shit, I've got one.
It's a falling down and getting laughed at routine, and it never worked.
Tyler's done stand-up, right?
Not yet. I do it on Monday though.
Where? That's tomorrow.
Are you fucking kidding?
No, I'm doing open mic tomorrow. Yeah.
Where?
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm doing it,
Can you
Brendan.
give us a cool bit?
You can't say these things and not tell us.
Yeah.
like
I
you're supposed to
didn't
give us
want a bunch of people there, but it came up, so you guys
I'm
can go.
not going to show up.
I would
but
rather have
I
people
probably
there.
Won't.
Right? Just play to an
Well,
empty crowd.
I
That would
wanted.
not be it.
There's going to be people there, but not people I know. And I was kind of wanting to go in and just get like a read on a room where nobody gives a shit about me.
No,
but
we
if
don't give a
people-
shit about you either.
Well, no,
You were late.
I give a lot of.
But
shits
now
about
I
you,
guess my
unlike
brother's going to
Brad.
be there, and he gives a shit about me. So the other people who don't give a shit can show up.
But you know what? If I showed up, I'd laugh.
I want to show up and yell next or pass.
I've been heckled 3 times during last call at the bar in the last 3 weeks.
Why?
Because no
Because
one
people
wants
are
to leave
drunk.
and they're
Yeah.
drunk.
Yeah.
It's called bartending.
Yeah.
I was a bouncer. They couldn't say anything to me.
The last time it happened to me, I yelled last call and they booed, and then I just turned and yelled,
they said
"Get the
anything
fuck
to
out of
me,
here!"
I'd-
And then everybody laughed, and I was like, "I meant it, but okay."
It's 2012,
Oh yeah, it is.
and they botch the grabbing of the Tesseract. Old Loki, 2012 Loki grabs it and escapes, thus queuing up a Disney Plus series for Loki.
Yeah.
But you
Which
go
was
Disney.
Really good.
Stark and Rogers then go back in time to talk with Mr. Stark,
Yeah.
and they get the stone there. We do have Fat Thor, which I don't know if is a great name. Depressed Thor, out of shape Thor, might be a little more PC, but everyone does refer to him as Fat Thor.
Yeah.
He realizes he fucked up because he didn't kill Thanos when he could, so he has fallen into playing video games, drinking too much, and just hanging out with his buddies. And what did you say, Carly? Carly says it sounds like us, and it does, because that is
You were
us.
Fat Thor.
How many
for
beers have we
Halloween.
had today?
I literally was Fat Thor for Halloween.
There's a good look.
And no,
was a
I
good
mean,
look on
just
you.
just playing games and like getting drunk all day. That's not a bad thing. I think everyone should be okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly think
Body
that's okay.
positivity.
We're
That is
saying
fun.
we're pro Thor. We're saying it's good Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
He's
it's
happy
maybe
Thor.
the best Thor.
But really, though, he has fallen into a deep depression,
Yeah.
and he hates himself, loathes himself.
Yeah.
And
That is a character I could connect with.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
And-
in New Asgard.
They go to he's in New Asgard, but they travel back in time. There's a great scene where he has to explain why Jane Foster has an Infinity Stone inside of her, and he explains the plot of Thor: The Dark World to everybody.
Yes, it's so funny. Because it's so bad. Like it's literally recognizing, we fucked up.
It's very aware, like, okay, so these dark elves showed up, and it's just Thor in his finger gloves.
yeah.
And
But he also has an emotional moment with his mother because his mother's dead.
Yeah.
And yeah,
imagine being able to talk to your beloved mother who passed away. Meanwhile, you're depressed, and she's like, "No, you're still great, and you're still a good person."
and then you get the
Oh,
awesome
man, that could make
where
me
he
cry
calls
right now.
Mjolnir back, and he's like, "I'm still worthy," like that shit.
Yeah.
I had a single tear rolled. down
Also,
my
that
cheek.
great scene where they're like, "How are you going to get the thing out of Jane Foster?" And Rock is like, "I'll get it out of her." Oh, don't worry, I'll get it. Because Rocket just goes off and has a scene with Jane that we don't see anywhere. Rocket
yeah, that's
extracts
true.
the essence of Jane Foster or something out of her.
Shit. Yeah.
I just love. He's like, "Oh, don't worry." And then in 2014, we have Nebula and Rhodes. They go to Murag to steal the Power Stone before Quill can steal it. And Barton and Natasha go to Vormir. They have a little epic fight where Natasha insists on sacrificing herself. They both try to kill themselves harder, but Natasha wins that one.
Yep.
And but Nebula, it turns out, if you're on an AI network and you go back in time, you're still on an AI network. And,
Go on
So it
airplane
cues
mode,
off.
you idiot.
or don't
Thanos.
don't bring Nebula.
Yeah.
Well,
But
she's
you
a
don't need her.
cyborg. It's
Turn off her Bluetooth capabilities. Like,
Airplane mode.
yes.
Yeah.
okay. Well,
Yeah, but that's how past Thanos finds out about this, and then he sends past Nebula back instead of future Nebula, and then she is able to bring past Thanos into the present. They do create an Infinity Gauntlet, the Avengers. Bruce Banner's the only one that can wield it because he can handle all of that radioactivity.
and the size of the gauntlet itself.
They make a cuter, smaller one available for purchase on Avengers.com.
Iron Man, Iron Man makes one of his own. Spoiler alert. He does it in secret.
He doesn't make one of his own. Isn't it just the nano
his suit?
capabilities of
So
his
here,
suit?
you want to know something crazy? Is that this is a huge debate that's been going on in the comic community for a long time. Is if the Infinity Gauntlet is not a singular thing. You can make multiple Infinity Gauntlets.
Well, yeah,
Why not?
That makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you can just put the little stones in any little hole.
Yeah, it's
you can
fine.
make an infinity like chest plate. You can make an infinity set of socks.
An Infinity cock ring.
Now, Dylan, you're pushing the boundaries for what is like awesome.
I didn't know I needed that.
But
I do.
Yeah,
It's great.
I guarantee it exists.
want one.
Like, don't Google image search it, but if you do,
It's already
send
a
us
porno.
your.
Oh, I
send it
bet
to
it's
us.
already.
Rule 34. It's
Somebody
out there.
made Thanos, and then they're like, they've got
Yeah,
the
and then
on,
it's
and
like
yeah.
it's kind of choking it.
I'm gonna make you Thor.
Oh my!
Oh, God.
Jeez.
I don't know, Brad.
Did Mike Tyson just say, I'm going to make you Thor?
Oh boy! All right.
I'm going to make you Thor.
But 2014 Nebula brings past Thanos to the present and his warship. Steve Rogers says Avengers Assemble. Everybody collectively creamed everywhere because they're like, he said the thing.
I'm like, he said the thing, and I actually creamed, and I was really into it.
And then the real cool thing happened.
But he didn't do it the way he does in the comics. That's the part that sucks. It's supposed to be like a battle cry, but he's like, Avengers Assemble. I'm like, okay.
And then Falcon's like on your left, and you're like, oh, that's the thing that he said.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing is like, remember that line? Remember
like,
that?
but I
It's
was
just
like-
member berries.
It's
the
just
whole
so
way
much
across.
fan service in this, like in the best possible way.
Yeah.
Like you're bringing up.
They all
the best
come out. They all
possible.
come out of fucking portals. From
And like,
other
oh,
areas.
Pepper
Everybody's
Potts
back.
is an Iron Man now? Sure. Bring her
Yeah.
along.
Rescue from. She was in Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
She had a suit.
I don't remember this.
She had a
Yeah,
suit
she
in
had a
Iron
suit.
Man 3.
Well, she is.
Everyone's here. Even Howard the Duck, if you go to like look in.
Yeah.
Yep.
That makes
That's
sense.
true.
Everybody's
He was there.
The most iconic moments, though, when our original Avengers team, minus the Hulk because he's suffering,
Yeah.
when Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America are fighting Thanos
That's
3 on
so
1,
good.
and when Captain America summons Mjolnir, everyone in the theater freaked out.
Oh, yeah.
That is, I watch that clip so often because it's the payoff for it after waiting for so long is great, but it's just pure movie making magic. It's a blockbuster moment. Like you can feel it. Like all this buildup of
When you have like 20 fucking movies to build up to
Yeah.
that point,
It,
and then
after
it-
21
like,
movies, you know?
and it finally happens.
You just edge yourself on that idea.
Yeah.
Especially in Age of Ultron where Thor's like, I bet you couldn't pick up the hammer, and then Captain America
moves.
kind of does it.
It
and,
moves
No.
like 0.5
Well,
yeah.
millimeters,
I mean,
and he's
no,
like,
he-
and he just kind of has this look on his
Well,
face like,
yeah.
oh shit.
And what I think happened there is Captain America knew he could pick it up, and he moved it, and he didn't want to embarrass
Yeah.
Thor, so
Yeah.
he's
that.
way
think
more
that's
worthy than
actually
Vision,
true.
who Vision's like, woo!
I've never
Here you go.
heard that theory until
That's
we
way
talked about
better,
it.
yeah.
That is a good theory.
That
I
is
like
a better
that.
theory, yeah.
It'd be very
That's pure
emasculating.
Captain America.
And you could just tell, like, Captain America for the next, like, 10 years, he's, like, thinking about all the cool moves he'd do with it if he had it. And then that's why he was
That
ready.
was a pretty cool
Because he
hammer.
was, like, doing some crazy moves with it right
all
away.
I got is a fucking shield. I
so
love
cool.
Endgame. I think that if they hadn't stuck this landing as good as they did, the entire thing would have fallen apart. We would not have sequels. We would not have any of the shit that we have now. It would have literally just gone away.
They would have had to have botched the landing
Well, it would have gone-
extremely hard.
Yeah.
It would have gone the way of the Westerns. It's like Westerns were super popular for a long time, and then like people got annoyed with them. But if they hadn't like just really nailed this backflip,
Yeah.
I mean, like, good for them. I also have no real investment in it anymore because this is kind of where I fall off. I said I got the narrative conclusion to a thing that I was really invested in, and it's done.
He calls back the very first line from Iron Man that he, like, said.
Yeah.
It's a perfect conclusion, a whole... Like, because they have the individual phases, but this is also the end of like the Thanos arc or whatever they call it,
The Stone Arc or whatever.
the Infinity Stones
Saga.
the saga. The Infinity Stone
The
saga.
Infinity Saga.
And it is such a neatly wrapped little present. Iron Man dies, and because you can't keep paying Robert Downey Jr. forever,
Yeah.
and also Captain America Steve Rogers, he goes back in time. He's like, I'm going to take all the stones back, and then he's just like. Doesn't come back to the future. He just lives as an old man and just goes to see Peggy. You're like, great, perfect. I like it.
Yeah.
Cut, print.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It works,
you know,
it works very well.
I don't think I will. Fuck you.
I think that for the most part, like this one succeeds as being an actual like emotional conclusion because none of these films have ever been emotional conclusions. They've always been like continuations of an idea over and over again.
Lingering.
They serialize themselves to a point where you have to keep going with it if you want to see the conclusion. Now you finally have the end of character arcs. They're finally done. So I don't know. I think it worked.
And I mean, just to have the final like I am Iron Man. I know that's not the last thing he says because he ends up talking to Pepper before he dies. But having that moment of Thanos, saying I am inevitable, I'm the Iron Man. Like it is just such a fucking cinematic
badass
climax, perfect moment.
To the point now that where they have that snap in every single opening logo now going forward. So it all works really well. I think one of the things that is going to be really interesting in the future because they're about to do Secret Invasion and Civil War or Secret Wars. I think one of the things they're going to come up with right now is that they're going to recast the main characters. They're going to recast Steve Rogers. They're going to recast Tony Stark.
They're going to bring in multiverse variants of them.
It's not even going to be just that. They're literally they're going to use that as a backdrop, but they're literally just going to do it because this is how comic books have worked, which is also why when Infinity War happened, I'm like, yeah, everyone, it's just comic books.
If there's money on the table, they're like, Ant-Man 9, we're doing it.
well, it's going to happen. You're not going to make
dung
up.
beetle.
Well, they can't make up.
Sounds fine.
Ooh,
a
dude, I
guy
wanna
with
be the
dung beetle powers?
beetle.
He's just rolling a giant ball through San Francisco.
Ah, it's a big ball of shit. It stinks real bad. Run away, criminals. No, but I truly think like we're approaching the point where they're getting ready because Secret Wars is going to be a reality resetting event.
They also have said like there's strong rumors that
There's strong
Chris
rumors.
Evans is going to show up again. Iron Man will allegedly show up again. Robert Downey Jr. Could just be a flashback, but
I also think
if there's money on the table, they will take the money.
I think legitimately what's going to happen is that they're going to recast these characters, and there have been rumors about who is actually going to be it, like literally online, like who's going to be the new Iron Man, who's going to be the new this. They're going to cast him younger.
Does Chris Pratt have that much time though?
Chris Pratt's not
that
involved.
No.
Chris Pratt wants out.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is going to be the end of, I think, all of the Guardians.
Oh no, I'm saying they're just going to cast him and Tom Holland as everything because that's what they do in Hollywood nowadays. It's those two guys.
Tom Holland is going to be Spider-Man for at least another trilogy.
He's going to be the next Iron Man-esque character, and then we'll build up to
Miles
Nathan
Morales.
Drake
And then
for
Miles
everything,
Morales
too.
will be who he mentors. And let's rank Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame or Captain America 2?
Endgame.
Endgame.
Avengers Endgame or Guardians of the Galaxy 1?
Endgame.
Endgame.
Avengers Endgame or Thor Ragnarok?
Endgame.
Endgame.
Thor Ragnarok.
I go Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ragnarok. Yeah, sorry.
I see.
Yep.
Okay.
I want to put it over just for the badass
Yes.
Iron Man scene at the end, but the rest of the movie it's a little long.
You'd think this would be the end of Marvel Phase 3. There is one more film to discuss. For some reason, they have another film after the end of the fucking saga. But it's
Far From Home.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Spider-Man Far From Home. This is not a sequel to Far From Home, where the girl raises the geese with Jeff Daniels.
That's
this got,
Fly Away Home.
Same thing.
Has this got
enough.
Jake Gyllenhaal in it?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Why do you pronounce it that way?
It's not pronounced Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Is it really Gyllenhaal?
He did it. He said it on a talk show, and I know it's not Gyllenhaal.
wrong. So
Dylan has
You don't know
said
how to
he's
say your
wrong.
own name.
Spider-Man Far From Home came out July 2nd, 2019, directed again by John Watts. As far as new cast members in this, Nick Fury is making his first appearance with Spider-Man, which is cool. Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio, and there's also the Elementals.
was it Nick Fury?
No, it was Talos.
Yeah.
We have learned it was Talos, but there is mysterious elementals attacking the planet, and Nick Fury is assisted by someone calling themselves Mysterio, and Mysterio defeats an elemental. Meanwhile, Peter Parker is in high school, and one thing I do like about this is that they're addressing the snap very quickly, and they're talking about how horrifying it is when you're in the middle of a basketball game and half of the dead students reemerge 5 years later.
Yeah.
Really cool. I like that as a concept
Yeah, that's cool.
because I wasn't sure how they would address it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Peter left too, and so there were 5 years where Marissa Tomei just aged 5 years. And
Well, but luckily, his crush and his best friend also died for those 5 years. It would have been awkward to come back and Ned and MJ were 5 years older.
Yeah.
But they weren't. But they do explain, like, yeah, so you hear his little brother, he's older than his older brother now. It's fucked.
It's crazy.
But this is essentially a trip, summer vacation, summer field trip story. Happy Hogan even lets Spider-Man know you're going to be contacted by Nick Fury, so answer the phone. And Peter ignores the phone call. He ghosts Nick Fury because he wants to go on vacation and spend time with MJ is his whole goal here.
Yeah.
Typical.
High school.
Yeah.
And he's also lost his Peter Tingle in this film.
Peter Tingle.
His Spidey sense, but Marissa Tomei calls it his Peter Tingle.
Okay, that
At
would
the,
have
end,
been
at the end of Homecoming, Marissa Tomei finds out that Tom Holland is Spider-Man.
Okay,
Yeah.
because
She calls him Peter Parker though, because
Peter
that's the name.
I
of
was
the
on a
character.
different. I was on a different
Yeah.
Okay.
wavelength.
So she also treats it as kind of like a burden, but she's also like, I don't know, you do cool things. It's fine.
She's very supportive.
She is actually. Yeah.
And Mysterio is a villain wow. But he comes off as a hero for the first half of the film, and I remember liking him so much. He was like such a good, like he was Peter's new mentor because Peter's still mourning the loss of Stark, and he finds someone that he looks up to, and Mysterio just seems like he's saving the day and fighting these elementals. Peter takes on the new alias as Night Monkey while he's on vacation, which is fun.
I love the suit.
Night Monkey's pretty cute, but it's fun. We get more of JB Smoove and Martin Starr, who I will watch them do anything, those two.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Mysterio, I remember just really loving as a villain.
Yeah, I mean, you know what eventually is going to happen, but also you're kind of like, maybe this is actually alternate reality.
Could just be a good Mysterio. You want it to be so bad.
A boy can dream.
He claims to come from an alternate reality.
Which you're expecting to happen in the MCU, like alternate reality
Because they
stuff.
keep bringing it up.
Yeah.
But this is untrue. He is literally just a showman.
I like that, in the comics, though, he's just like an illusionist, like a magician. This guy is full on, I have drones that can like project holograms and stuff. He has a very big
He has
presentation.
a very unique set of skills.
I've always liked Mysterio as a villain before, at least because I've seen him in the video games where I know him from. Yeah. But Mysterio just has the concept as a guy who just like with a clouded like helmet can fly around, do magic. I thought he was a cool character.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been used in a Spider-Man movie yet.
And it's cool to see a Spider-Man villain that's not like based off of another animal.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
I'm not a rhino. I'm not a scorpion.
I'm not a lizard.
Yeah.
Green Goblin?
I'm not a goblin.
That's not an animal. Well, as it were.
As it were. But he also is given Tony Stark's glasses early on in the film. Because Tony Stark chose him as the person who should have the responsibility of wielding all of the power of Tony Stark's technology.
Yeah, weird choice.
Peter Parker immediately gives the glasses to a stranger named
Why
Mysterio.
wouldn't you give it to your? Why wouldn't you give it to your fucking wife? Whatever, it's fine.
Can't trust her.
She can't be trusted. Pepper Potts.
You can't trust Gwyneth Paltrow with anything.
Have you met this 17-year-old kid? He's got it.
He's great.
She's gonna start a company called Goop.
Yeah.
Hi, this is poop. Put it on
the
your
Yanni
face.
candles.
We promise they'll work. They'll cure your cancer. But he immediately takes these priceless glasses and gives them to Mysterio. Mysterio then, there's a scene where he reveals himself to be hanging out with the kid from A Christmas Story and a lot of other people that Tony Stark has made mad. And Mysterio's the bad guy. Peter Parker has a realization about this. MJ reveals she knows who he is.
Yep.
They kiss. It's cute. Great scene where he reclaims his Peter Tingle. And when he like drops in on the drone mess and like,
Yeah.
I love it. That's very good.
Yeah. And he's literally trying to save Mysterio, but Mysterio is like, I'm going to ruin you forever instead of actually letting you do this. That is like a really good scene. And it kind of embodies Spider-Man quite a bit, where he just goes like, he's like, yeah, you could try to save my life, but I'd rather just be spiteful and destroy your entire existence.
Even with Vulture, he's screaming at the end. He's like, you're about to blow up. Get out of there. He's like pleading with Vulture. He's always just trying to save people.
Spider-Man just wants what is good. So it's interesting when the villain is so spiteful that they want to be self-destructive. And that's something
That's so fucking cool, though.
it is cool, yeah.
And it's Spider-Man trying to understand how he can't save everything.
Yeah. And that's something he has to deal with. Power, responsibility, whatever, but same time, like
He also, though, there's just like little things where he winds up wielding something like a hammer from Thor. He also grabs this like little thing he uses like a shield from Captain America. So it's him learning the lessons from all of the different Avengers father figures that aren't there for him anymore. It's great. He stops Mysterio, but not before Mysterio can send out a message and announce to the world that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. And it's J. Jonah Jameson from fucking Spider-Man.
bald and acting
Raimi.
like Alex Jones.
And I was very
Is it
excited.
J.K. Simmons?
It's J.K. Simmons.
It's really J.K. Simmons, yeah.
And somehow that was the best part of the film. When everything else was still great, I was like, J.K. Simmons, seeing his face makes me happier than anything.
Yeah.
Well, and he's also like a podcast personality, and he's
Alex Jones in the Spider-Man.
That is so fucking cool.
He's a Fox News podcast personality.
That is awesome.
I hate podcasters.
Yeah, I do
Worst,
too.
man.
I fucking hate him. I really think this movie was better than Homecoming. So.
I 100% agree. A lot of people aren't super hot on it, but I thought Mysterio and I thought it just worked well for Spider-Man.
Better thematically.
So we have to rank one more film today. And
that's-
you two are sadly
It's
not
just you two,
involved.
yeah. And you guys explaining both of those Spider-Man movies, I would rank Homecoming below No Way Home, just based off hearing you.
Far
talk
From
about
Home. Then there's No Way Home. That's next phase.
I would probably rank Far From Home above No Way Home.
I would
It's a
too.
tough one, but
It's a
No Way
be-
Home
it's
is
just a better. Far From Home is a better movie.
and No Way Home is just too pandery.
No Way Home is very pandery.
Look, Tobey Maguire. He could have showed up and just farted and everyone would have cried.
They would have been like, "Look at it, Spider-Man again."
It's Spider-Man. Like you have the meme of the Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
They do.
each other.
They do the
They
meme.
do
Yeah.
it, yeah.
So pandering. I see what
So Spider-Man, No Way Home. We both agree it's
Far
better
From
than.
Home.
Or, fuck.
It's okay. Don't worry about
Far
it.
From Home. Well, you and I both
all have
agree.
home in it.
It's better than Homecoming.
It's better than Homecoming.
Captain America 2 or Far From Home.
Captain America 2.
I will.
It's a better film.
agree.
We have to.
I
say
will
that.
agree.
Okay.
I don't have to say nothing, but I agree with you.
No, but you have to agree that it's better written and it's better acted.
Captain America 1 or Far From Home.
Far From Home.
Agreed. All right. So we currently have 24 films on our list, and we're not going to read through all of them. Suffice it to say, Barbarian is not number 1.
Dropped to like 5.
Yeah.
Barbarian is number 6, if anyone at home is counting.
Wow. All right.
As
gonna
far
have
as
to see
MCU,
Barbarian.
Barbarian ranked in the MCU.
I hear things
for the,
about incest babies.
you don't even know.
You don't even know, man.
Oh, fuck.
Just don't look up a single thing.
I'm not going to
before.
look up a thing about it. I might watch it fucking tonight.
Just so you
fucking
know,
wonderful.
Barbarian is currently ahead of Captain America 2 on our list. That's how Tyler and I felt about it.
Okay. Well,
But we also put it below Avengers 1. And I know you find that controversial.
Avengers 1 is a perfect movie.
Thank you for joining us today, David.
Oh my God. We spent 4 hours doing this, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got
Tyler.
a Super Bowl party to get to.
It wouldn't have been as long if people would have showed up on time.
Yeah.
It would have started earlier.
That
Yeah,
part,
we
is,
haven't
that
started
part
on
is
time.
actually that part is actually
That's very
pretty
true
fucking-
because everyone else was
yeah.
sitting here. We were ready to go for a long time.
Yeah, and then I had to drink a beer, and then I drank another one, and here I am drinking more
happens.
beers. I don't know, man.
Hopefully, I think Dylan and I were talking about doing a DC universe, some other movies, Halloween,
Yeah.
Christmas.
In like 3 or 4
We can do something
years,
like that.
we'll have time to do more.
Yeah.
We'll see. I also just don't want to talk about superhero films. After we get
No.
through the MCU phases, I want to take
Yeah,
a
I
little
don't want
break.
to talk. I don't want to talk about.
No, because we can
superhero
also just
shit.
talk about
that-
Barbarian and random films we see, which is good
That'd be fun
too.
too.
I think
Crow.
Edgar Wright movies would be a good one to do.
Yeah.
Also, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, the world is our oyster.
We can talk about the Donkey Kong Country TV series.
Oh.
Yeah, God is dead. Eat ass.
We could.
This has been Popcorn Dogs. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, we can name.
That was a long one.